Yep.
All right.
I still feel the blood dripping down my face. They can't like the post, but they can't feel the pain.
All right. All right. What's up, guys? We are officially live. Right now, we are live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and now Twitch.
All right.
So thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys hate the algorithm as much as I do, please hit the like button. Also, jump in the chats. Your comments will be put on the screen, and we will respond to the comments. Just as long as we're not stuck in the middle of a conversation, but we will get to you. So I want to appreciate everybody who's been tuning in and just all the good feedback we've been getting from the podcast. So if this is your first time watching this, just know that this podcast is definitely for independent artists and everyone involved in independent music to have a place to promote. But also, this is for the artist that is knows how to make the music, but wants to know how the business works, knows how they can be taken seriously, how to be professional. Get to A to, if you're at a wall and you're trying to figure out how to get from A to B. So I definitely I interview people that I highly respect and I feel like have the proper education. So without further ado, this has been a guest I've been pushing to get for a while, and we finally got him on his not so busy Sunday. So without further ado, from Nice Enough Entertainment in Omaha, Nebraska, Mr. Justin Strawstone. What's up, man?
How we doing, man?
Pretty good, man.
Excuse me while I'm just sharing this around to
Yeah.
some of the people here.
Oh, yeah.
Um, Beautiful podcast that you have going here. I checked out the Johnny Bliss interview. I highly suggest everyone else go and check that out. Lots of good stuff there.
All right, cool, man. We'll start off. Let's talk about how Straw got started.
I pretty much the whole only reason that I exist in what I do on this side of things is because I used to walk. I used to be a battle rapper back in the day,
Oh, nice.
and then
Yeah.
I was in a group called Dab Squad, and I was like kind of like the fuckhead of the group. I was the battle rapper. I was the shit talker. I enjoyed that role for a really long time, and it got to a point though to where we'd show up to gigs and I would just like see who's running it, and I would just like I would smell the fakeness. You know what I mean? Like pay to play rampant, like just a lot of ugly, toxic behavior. Same people doing the same things the wrong way, and that's the definition of crazy is doing things the same way for a long time and expecting different results. So I pretty much just jumped over to this side of things and never had any expectation that it would grow into what it did, but I had a lot of passion, and I believed that the world needed someone yelling about the things that bleed artists and make scenes not thrive.
Yeah. Yeah, man, totally. So you talk about Nice Enough Entertainment and what's the because every production company, team, they all kind of have. There's always something that kind of they strive for. You like to pop some pretty cool quotes like "do cool shit," "treat people decent." I know there's a few others. Those are the two ones that I always remember. Talk about both those phrases. What do you mean by them?
uh, Man, that's literally who I am as a person. Everything about that, and that's I think why things work for me is because it's genuine. And when I
Mhm.
say to treat people decent and to do cool shit, that's science that those aren't even original quotes. Those are people around me. Shout out to Mike Fantastic, Cutthroat Productions, and the people that I came up doing this with. And like, as things gain success, I I remember, for example, everyone. I mean, I don't know if anyone here knows about Jay Influential, but he's an artist with Nice Enough Entertainment out of Omaha, Nebraska. Extremely talented young man. And before we started working together, he kind of asked me, he's like, I don't understand. He's like, everyone says that I'm dope. I got a lot of people that fuck with my music, but like this last album did not do what I thought it would. And at this time, I wasn't really an artist manager. I didn't know a whole lot, but I was like, that's really dope. Like, did you try doing it while treating people decent though? Like, it's one thing to be talented, it's one thing to do cool shit, but did you treat people decent? Did you give the best version of yourself to tell your story? Because we are all brands. And it was one of those things, and it worked for him. He just learned, he learned how to compartmentalize and how to be an artist and still not be fake or fake the funk and be everybody's buddy. But yeah, just, I'm never going to be the nicest guy in the world. I'm never going to kiss anyone's ass. I'm not big into politics, but I guarantee if anyone ever has an issue with me, that I treated them nice enough, that I treated them decent. And that's just kind of what all that means to me. It's like, it sounds silly sometimes. There's people that have given me shit for it in the past, but keeping that like base standard, not a lot of people do it, and it creates a lot of success.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, you also like give artist advice pretty occasionally on Facebook, and then you start doing that on TikTok.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to talk about some of those because my last guest was Dusty Grant from Wichita, and he was doing the same thing. He would just say, "Hey, say no to shitty gigs. Don't don't rush your material."
Yeah.
Things of that nature. And I know what you talked about, oversaturation. You talked about how to tour, how to release a single. Any kind of advice you want to throw on that?
Man, there's always things, and there's always a lot of artist advice that I'm trying to give out there, but I'm also trying. I don't think I know everything. Mm-hmm. Everything that I'm putting out there are things that I'm picking up from other people, and we call it science, man. Like, it's science, and you have to apply it. But my biggest thing with the whole artist advice thing is just knowing when to reflect. And the hardest thing is changing behavior or changing a path. If you realize that, hey, I maybe am like fucking with the wrong type of promoters, or maybe I'm getting these bad shows, but now they're my friends, and it's hard to say no to this because I like playing with my friends. Well, it's just kind of like one of those things. You have to reflect on how serious you want to take yourself as an artist and a brand, and that will determine how serious you take that advice, And I see people, for example, go up in arms. One of the big ones for hip hop is rapping over vocals, right? Like, people love to get feisty about that. They love to get spicy about it. I have my opinion of what I think is like the best version of a stage show. And that is that no vocals with dubs, or, you do what you need to do to give the best performance. That's my personal opinion. It doesn't make me mad. And I understand that there's different variants of hip hop that require different things. So just like I just said, it's one of those things that you got to take any artist advice from someone like me with a grain of salt, because everybody comes from different places and everyone has different standards. So, yeah.
All right, definitely. So as a promoter, like, how do you feel about artists who, like you said, we talked about, there's a fine line between being busy and oversaturating.
Right.
So, how do you, as a promoter, like, how do you look at that? Do you feel like, hey, this is an artist who's obviously got like a lot of contacts and he's utilizing them? And at what point do you feel like, okay, man, now it's becoming oversaturated? Like, you're too available. There's your fan base will probably be harder for you to draw a crowd as they can just see you at any bar versus someone who it's a big deal when they see him on a stage. What's your opinion on between an artist being busy and maybe, they're oversaturating their market and their brand a little too much? Like, what do you think is the fine line?
Let me differentiate once again, just like my answer to this comes two different ways. Because if I have friends out there that they just want to rap. They just want to go play their guitar. They just want to hang out with their friends. It's their outlet. It's part of their mental health, like way of coping. It's their coping mechanism. And so it's really hard for me when I talk in like things are just like one way, or you're just fucking wrong, because I don't think it's that way. But this advice just goes, if you want your brand to grow to a regional or national level, if you want to make money off your music and maybe do this as a career, then oversaturation is gonna fucking kill you. Straight
Mhm.
the fuck up. It's a problem, and it's everywhere, man. Like, saying no is easy, guys. I don't know why people have so much problem with that, but I always say definitely don't perform in your hometown more than once a month. Obviously, there's exceptions to that rules, whether you're guesting, like guest spotting on a local open mic or guest spotting on someone else's set. But in your hometown, when you get to a level that you want to be able to tour, your hometown needs to be a viable option as a hometown spot to help you get to those other dates and grow in those other cities. In my opinion, my humble
Right.
opinion. So I would limit it literally to like 4 to 5 times a year for hometown performances. And that goes to probably pretty much anyone on a level that's watching this. Now, if King ISO is watching this right now, I'm going to say twice a year, 3 maybe, if we have like, some situation. So the bigger you get, the less you want to give of people. You don't want to be that accessible.
Mhm.
So it's everybody's different, but if you're trying to take your brand serious, I would just really take a look at those opportunities and think about that word no, and thinking about, like, if you're really wanting to get out there and you need to perform or whatnot, and this is not me blasting anyone, but I bet you should probably be rehearsing more. I bet you should be, that time that you're worried about whether you're on that show in order to look cool that weekend. Hell, you could probably come up with a social media game plan that can get more fans to the next show that you do. Because it's
Mhm.
not just a show up and rap thing if you take this serious.
Yeah. Yeah. So, talk about Omaha's music scene, because I can tell you, especially over here in Oklahoma, like, we're not there. We see the photos and the videos on social media, and it looks amazing. And you brought me out to Omaha a couple times, and I remember we did the Stevie Stone show,
Yep.
I think, at Lookout Lounge, and I
All
remember
right.
it was funny because it was snowing. Like, the second I got to the Nebraska state line, all of a sudden it turned into a snowstorm. Like, it was almost like a movie.
It's not
And
always beautiful.
yeah, but it was still a cool show. It was a great turnout. And one thing I did like about Omaha's music scene was, you always felt like you belong, and really, other than you and Finch and Jay, I didn't, and Michael, I didn't really know anybody there, but I felt like I knew a lot more. I felt like I left that show with a lot more friends in that city. So I feel like the what you preach definitely, like, leaves an impression. So I definitely felt like everybody felt like we're here supporting cool shit, and everyone's treating everybody very well. And I notice, for a lot of people who probably don't go to shows but they want to see live music, one thing people kind of say is, they're like, well, I don't know anybody. They feel like kind of being the oddball out or something like that.
Mhm.
But the way you do shows has been an inspiration to me, especially through the pandemic, because that was a dark time in many different ways. But definitely, for the music scene, us trying to come back was very difficult. And you did like a slow process,
Mhm.
and the next thing I know, you're back to selling out venues again, or at least you're pack the turnouts you guys get out
Can
there.
I brag about my guys real quick before I answer
Yeah,
your question? Yo,
yeah,
shout out to the guys last night. We did actually, so we did do a slow rollout. We've been wanting
yeah.
to be careful, you want to keep the underground alive while, providing that those opportunities, but we didn't want to just jump out there and start packing venues right away. So
Yeah, I understand.
uh last night I felt safe with it, and we had a lineup that moved like over 150 tickets themselves with just 6 acts. And
Yeah.
shout out to C10, no name Sensei, Marquise is Dead, Mr. Bomb, Makeshift, and Johnny Bliss, and Pac Dillon, and my DJ Surreal MC. So I have so much love and respect for those guys, and I appreciate your kind words. And I
Mhm.
remember back a little while ago, maybe it was like a year ago, we were talking about Tulsa, and we had a
Mhm.
couple shows that struggled, and we had some dealt with some bullshit behavior in Tulsa, and you're like, yo, it's just kind of toxic here. It's just not Omaha. And I
Yeah.
remember being like, bro, like, I know it looks easy right now. I know that it looks like we're just like, it's effortless and everyone's getting along, but every scene goes through those hard changes in order to get where they want to be.
I'll
And
say this. I'll
put
say
it
this
right
though.
back on
Oh,
you.
let me finish. Sorry, I'll let you finish. My bad.
Oh, you're good. I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
I'll put it right back on you. The same things that you're doing in Tulsa, they fucking count. And they're, I've seen growth. I've seen more participation from your big shows, your smaller shows, people taking, while still you have a really big open mic scene down there, I noticed.
Yeah. It's been,
But there's still, when it's time to do like other big shows, people are really putting on for their brand and shit. Patch Flowers, Freitas, you got some really dope people around there, man.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
was,
Omaha's cool, man.
yeah, I would say since the last time, I wouldn't say the last time. Last time was King ISO, and the scene was improving. But I remember when I first kind of brought you here. I wouldn't say there were a couple. Like we had a couple of toxic things kind of go about. Nothing terrible. There was just people that I just couldn't work with because it wasn't helping the brand. Uh, I needed artists who weren't so complacent or just like, oh, I'm just here to perform, and then all the promoting is kind of like on me. It's a team effort. That's what's working for you guys. But I would say with at least the past year, and it's even better this year. I think Tulsa's hip hop scene has progressed amazingly. And so I don't deal with the toxic stuff that I was dealing with, or just the frustrating situations, or feeling like I'm building this on my own, and da da da. I felt like it's been team effort so much that the other artists want to help me unload my merch. They're like, hey, they want to pack it up for me. They want to do like cool things like that. They want to help, print the posters, stuff like that. Like, it's becoming, and even then, everyone knows what time they're performing. Everyone gets on stage. Everyone has their flash drive ready, all this stuff. So even then, I don't even have to run a show anymore. Like, everyone's so like on point and professional, and so yeah, it's and like I said, like for Nice Enough, you guys were you're definitely like a positive like influence for me, because I start seeing what you guys did. So I was like, well, let me kind of make it my own way, but let me try that. And so far this year, the two main shows we've had were packed out shows. So and there were other efforts of promotion I started like implementing, you know what I mean? So
Right.
So yeah.
Man, I see a lot of improvement with what you're doing. And you know what's crazy about it? And this goes out to any promoters or artists that kind of have trouble with communication. Use your fucking words. It's okay to be blunt about what you need in order to protect your brand, in order for an opportunity to make sense. And think about that, because so many of us like to just kind of tiptoe around with that nice shit all the time. And like, ask any of the guys around me, even though we celebrate, we have a great fucking time, but we keep it absolutely real. These group chats and shit that we do, like leading up to shows, like, we have our fun, but it's like, all right, this is what we're doing. This is what time we're doing it. This is what I expect from you guys. And then it's, what do you need from me? It's okay to do that. And, sometimes people will hit me up and, they need more out of what Nice Enough is given. And I haven't, I don't even realize, you know what I mean? Like, so, open mouths don't get fed, and communication is going to give you a chance to literally work with anyone. And it takes away a lot of what's unsaid breaks people apart more than what is said.
Yeah, I totally agree.
What up, Freitas? I see Freitas.
Cool. Oh, hey, letting guys know, this is the only downside about StreamYard. It did let me know some destinations won't get comments. So I was kind of looking at my phone. I know a lot of you guys are commenting. I appreciate it. What I'll do is I'll start reading people's comments, give you shout outs. Yeah, just let you know, StreamYard has very good like tools to use, but unfortunately it's not perfect. So
yeah, we appreciate your guys' comments. If you guys have questions or anything, that interaction, it helps him with the algorithm. Obviously, I'm excited to be talking to your audience that you've been working so hard to grow. And one thing that I've been like really big on lately, it's like, so we have the whole like treat people decent and do cool shit, where the new thing is like the blueprint to that is respecting the entertainment dollar and respecting the artist, and never, it's got to be both of them. It can never be one or the other. So I want to leave every show to where an artist, their brand grew and we grew something together, but also their aunt that came out to watch them, they had a great time because
Yeah.
it had a clean venue with good sound and with people treating each other decent. Or, let's say that first, someone who loves listening to hip hop, but they've heard nothing but bullshit things about local shows, Maybe they went to a show that had 15, 20 openers and they're wondering when their fucking cousin was going to be on. And now it's just more something they joke about than ever think about supporting. Well,
Right.
when somebody comes to one of our shows or one of your shows, we want those people to come back because it's a hell of a lot more important to treat people decent and to get somebody that wants to keep coming back than to tricking somebody one time into coming out.
Right on, man. Yeah, that's something else. And since like for Tulsa, I like to, unless some venues are like they'll pay you, they don't really do covers because it's a bar and they have regulars and stuff like that.
Right.
So, but with that, I'll use whatever the majority of the money the bar pays me to put on a production to make sure you know what I mean. So, because you definitely feel the difference between a show that has a zero budget and then a show that you're like, damn, dude, promoter like invested in this or he invested in a touring act that came through at least, and you see good quality flyers, things of that nature. And a good, and a good quality lineup. But but back to what you're saying about, respecting the entertainment dollar. Now it's like, for me to do shows and for me to do, 10 in advance, 13 at the door, then have a big local lineup, things of that nature. And so then it's like, I'm very specific about who's on the show. Shout out to DJ Corrosion, who brings a hell of a light production that makes it even fun. And when we pick a theme, because every show I showcase, I have a theme, and a lot of times it's kind of horror movie-ish, but that's just me. But it's also, I think it's fun. Yeah. So he brings his projector and he'll have the name of the show. Like, for example, March Massacre was kind of like a Leatherface theme show. And so right where the pool table's at Blackbird and Pearl, there's like a little curtain. So we'll have that there. But the venue is kind of dark. So it's kind of like, it's almost like kind of like a Halloween kind of like haunted house kind of vibe to it, at least in my opinion. But it's different, and it's a nice little atmosphere. It almost feels like you're kind of at a rave just with live hip hop music. Yeah, so dude. I kind of like that. I like that because people like to come out and party, and then they find a new local artist they never heard of, and they're like, wow, these guys are from here. So
people appreciate when you put that extra into it, man. When you show that you actually care about that production, it matters. And I have to be honest, Nice Enough has a long ways to go when it comes to stepping up our actual stage shows. Shout out to DJ Cyril MC. He helps save the day with that for sure. But
but yeah, that's kind of me. Is like, I'm very particular about who I have on the show. Obviously, I stick to who I can work with and who I can trust. Right. I just said I know who will be on time. I know they're going to bring a killer performance.
Right.
And like I said, I know when they're off stage, they're going to be humble and friendly. They're going to be kind of person you want to have a drink with or smoke a blunt with. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And people like that. And I've had new people come that don't go to shows or it's never been part of their outing. And then they're like, wow, I love this. Like, I want to keep, so things of that nature. But back to what you're saying, to me, it's just like, I can't afford and the people can't afford for there to be something that is poor quality or is sloppy, not well put together. So, but I'm very like simple, like, I don't like to overcomplicate things or make anything over complex. I like it real simple, but also I kind of want people to look at it and kind of feel like, wow, how did you put this together? It looks like so much complexity. I'm like, no, I just did A, B, and C, Yep. So, but yeah, I also want people to feel like that $10 ticket that they bought to come support a local show. And in most cases, I'm going to have a special guest who's on tour or they're coming from another state. So you get someone you probably never heard of that's super dope. And then they get that experience. Because when I bring people here, I want to make sure that they're coming to like a crowd. And it's they said, hey, I came and did a show in Tulsa and it was dope. So I definitely want that. And then with my tickets, I make sure the local artists get a cut because we're all like out there hustling the tickets, getting to pack out the place. And so I make sure they get a pretty fair cut. And I like it. That was another thing I enjoyed was seeing local artists that work really hard here who get a little compensation. That's I think it's a good feeling for them, and then they get to play a really dope ass show for the nice crowd. So it's just like, so yeah, I think it's just overall a huge win for everybody. And but yeah, man. Is there? Let's talk about what Nice Enough has going on, because in a very humble in a very humble way, I will express that I'm excited to actually be a part in some way, shape, or form of your upcoming tour.
Yeah,
3 dates. Table of the Truth. You're it's his first headlining tour, isn't it?
yes, it is. Shout out to my guy, Table the Truth, one of the realest and hardest working guys out here in the Midwest, and he's a rising superstar. So I'm absolutely excited, and we're going on tour. It's called the Take It Personal Tour. His album will be releasing here on the 18th. You can go find out go find his newest single, Gassed Up. There's a video for it. It's real easy to find on YouTube. Gassed Up by Table the Truth. But yeah, we're heading. We're doing 11 dates. We're doing it real. I don't ever like to fake the funk with things more than they are. But we're doing like a couple, like 4 days home for a couple days, then 4 days, and kind of like the poor man's tour a little bit. But that second half of it, we get to join my favorite poor man, fucking Had Enough. So we're excited to have you, and I appreciate you helping me out with a lot of the logistics as always. And man, we couldn't be more excited. We're starting that off in Kearney on Thursday, on St. Patty's Day, and then we're in Denver. He's headlining at the Roxy Theater, which I just think is an awesome big deal. And then we're in Sioux Falls, and then Des Moines, and those shows are just looking like absolute bangers.
Man, Des Moines is one of my favorite cities to tour to and do shows. I don't know. There's outside of performing, there's just cool. There's cool shit in Des Moines. Kong's Pizza, Miller Lite. They have like their own like lounge, and they have a place where you can get all this like different brewed beer from all over the Midwest, and they got some pretty good food. So yeah, absolutely. Des Moines is a beautiful city. I always loved it there.
I love Des Moines, but we're joining you in we're doing Tulsa, Wichita, and Topeka together.
Yeah.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
We also have Lincoln on there, and Sioux City, Minnesota, and Burlington, Iowa. So yeah, if you are in one of those cities, just know this is me and Tabo going out in a rented economy car to go connect with a bunch of amazing artists. And one thing that I like just kind of goes back to like the artist advice stuff. I'm super proud that that's what it is. Now you're going to see some Nice Enough tours that got, 4 people, 5 people on them, and they're going to make sense. You'll probably see Had Enough on some here in the future. And because we like having those 4 or 5-headed monsters, makes sense a lot logistically. But I'm absolutely proud that we can go out there just under the name of Tabo the Truth and what the fuck he's doing. And Nice Enough has a part of that too. We're excited that we can use our connections to help get him in the right venues. But it's all bro on this one, man. So it's his first headlining tour, and I don't know if people know this, but he was out for 60 dates with Tech Nine and King ISO this year. So I mean, he was rocking huge stages, and the man steals the show. He's absolutely fire. So we got that coming up. I want to make sure I gave that plenty of time since we're going to be in a lot of cities. And if anyone ever wants to hit me up and talk about touring and things like that, I mean, I'm good. If you're like, yo, I want to tour, let me go right now, I'm going to say no. I was like, but if you wanted to know the logistics of how to grow yourself to where you can get out there and do things bigger than your city, let's talk about it. And I'm also going to be trying to release and publish as much as I can when it comes to information, because as I learned, because I didn't you asked me earlier how I started. So obviously I was just a fuckhead third person of a hip hop group. So this 3 years I've been like pretty much just like cramming and studying how to be the best ally I can to these artists. And I'm looking forward to continuing to learn. There might be something that I thought was the right way 2 months ago, and I might, in 3 months be like, let's adjust that. And that's called reflecting. And some of the hate that you see, that's called projecting. So, I got there's lots of good shit out there. You just have to find your lane and where it fits your art and what exactly you're trying to do. So
yeah, man.
Can I talk about one more little thing? You asked what next. We got the Midwest Fresh coming up, and I'm super excited about this series. Had Enough. pretty much this series, we don't have an open mic at Nice Enough because we want to start building people for like, you know, to build their stage show. And, you know, with the little time we have and the little stage time we had, it just makes more sense to do like showcases. And this showcase is so important to me because it's for artists that have never performed with Nice Enough. It's for artists that are new or upcoming. It's for artists that are maybe changing their sound, undiscovered. You know, it's pretty much, you know, there's rookies and there's vets all over it, but the whole thing is it's allowing people to come together and us just to work on how to do the business side of things. By doing this series, it allows people, you know, people to get headlining chances to kind of try out how they do in that vibe. And I'm just so excited about that. That's in April. It's April 6th and 13th. So shout out to all the guys and wonderful artists and girls that are on that. Man, that shit's gonna be dope. Let's bring some bangers to the Reverb in Omaha on a Wednesday, guys.
Yeah, let's if it's cool with you, man. I kind of want to reflect or just like for people who don't know about like our history, because we did some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to talk. Let's for some of my Tulsa people who probably weren't around, or at least weren't around my shows at the time. I kind of remind Tulsa like what, you know, every show that Nice Enough did, because even when we had some shows that turnout wasn't the greatest, I felt like we still had a good time, and there was still like a lot of good energy in the room. I think if I remember the first time you had Cult Classic, which was a hip hop collective.
Yeah,
and that's like all your guys, and it was at the Dixie Tavern, which is now Poor Decisions.
Poor Decisions now.
Yeah, they changed it. They actually moved the stage on the other side of the bar, which is actually a way better.
They have a stage
section
still, huh?
Yeah, they moved the stage to the other corner, but it's right by the bar, so I think people hear the music a little bit better. I like what they did with the venue, but yeah, let's talk about that. We brought Cult Classic there, and you had Modest K, yeah.
I wish I had the flyer near that.
Yeah.
Grab. So that one was really awesome, and Mayflower. That was Mayflowers, right?
No, that was before. It was a Star Wars themed show.
That was part of Mayflowers.
It was. No, you're right.
So this is a really cool, like,
I actually joined the last bit of the tour after that.
Yeah,
I think is what happened. Yeah.
Yep. So
it was okay.
We had, honestly, this is what a good dude had enough is. So my company was literally fucking brand new. We had connected. I don't even remember how we connected, but I was starting to build that tour, and it was the Mayflowers tour. And you had already been touring and moving around. And I think you were like giving me advice at that time about like how to get out there on the road, if I remember correctly.
Well, I've done touring back when I was in a metal band. I did the West Coast tours and stuff like that. So I did a lot of early like poor man tours with like,
that's how you learn.
Just stuff. Well, I'll put it this way. Is it Poor More Tour? Like weekend tours, like me and a couple friends will go out for like a Friday and Saturday, and then later down the line, I think about 2017 is when I would actually hit the road for about 2 weeks. So I started to kind of step it up.
That's what's up.
What we met was I was trying to build a tour, and I was looking at it, and then I think a friend of mine says you should look into like Omaha, Nebraska. I heard their music scene's real good, so I did some research. I was like, they got some nice looking venues. And I got into the DIY tour posting Facebook group, which I recommend any artist looking to tour. I recommend getting involved in that group. You make some pretty good contacts. It's you'll run to more of indie rock contacts. Like hip hop is very, very is very. There's a few people, but it's not like the majority. So I think somebody had mentioned your name, or I got into a group message.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I thought you were cool from the get-go because I was kind of getting used to people saying we'll do a door split, and you offered me a pretty solid guarantee, but you also kind of said it makes it easy for you, rather than, you know. And I was, and it was I was like, all right, this will be cool, and it was refreshing because before I wasn't dealing with promoters because I didn't know any. I was just like booking venues and then and bars, and then trying to find what locals are out there. And then finally I said, man, I just need to do it like it needs to be done. I need to get a hold of promoters who know the right local artists, so that way it's worth the drive. It's a good show. It's not you're playing for the door guy kind of thing. You know what I mean? So we ended up talking, and I think the snowstorm hit. There was a snowstorm. So I wasn't able, so we weren't, so unfortunately I had to drop the show. And I know there was a family wedding that happened. So a lot of times it was just scheduling, you know, so the dates didn't exactly work out, but I was glad, but finally we got a chance to do one out there. So, and then I brought you out here a couple times.
You helped us get a need, and then we did the Dixie's Tavern. And one of my favorite parts, and I have some footage and a picture somewhere where, you know, it was a great show inside Dixie's Tavern. There were way more people than I thought were going to be there. We probably had 50 to 100 people that night.
Yeah.
And but outside, there was the biggest hip hop cipher I think I've ever witnessed outside a show, man. There's like 30 people out there rapping, and it was so cool. I remember Kayla rapped. It was a lot of fun, man. And that's a big part of my origin story, is that Mayflowers, as you know, because me and you talk about it all the time, man. And now Mayflowers, if you can't, if you don't mind, I'll use that as a segue into kind of where it's at now. It grew into a series that we do in Omaha, and it's also going to be something that I tour on and that we put in other cities again as well. But last year it became what the Midwest Fresh really is this year, to where it was we had some really dope vets on the top of the lineups, and a lot of really talented people, but it was people getting opportunities for the first time a lot too. And it was a series that was really about all coming together and growing like the little guy, you know. And we had a friend named David McLean, Desolate, and he was he was a supporter of ours, literally went to like every Nice Enough show, and he started rapping and making music under the tutelage of Forget Finch, and they became friends. And he actually was going to be an opener on the third Mayflowers last year, and he passed away 2 weeks before. He got in a car accident, and we lost him. So that changed me forever as a promoter. As you know, I was already wanting to do this shit for the right reason, but now this year, you know, it's just, you never know what the story is behind things. You know, a lot of people think like just promoters are just sleazy motherfuckers, and a lot of them are. I'll warn you, they are. But there's some of us out here that really give a fuck about the people and the people involved, and the positive mental health that grows from giving people that outlet of hip hop. And David never got his chance, and it's a huge thing for me now. It's cool shit without borders until the day I die. As long as I'm doing Nice Enough entertainment, I'm going to give people opportunities and try to be the best standard and support system I can be for the small guy, man, because I'll never forget how heartbroken I was. And you know, now when I think about Mayflower, we have Mayflowers coming again this year, and the lineups are beautiful, man. Like, they're full of just absolute monsters. It's grown into like what I think is like a very powerful regional showcase every Thursday at the Reverb Lounge. And but it has that meaning now. And, you know, when I think about that tour we did together and how that was like really so grassroots, we're out there in my old red Dodge Ram van with 6 rappers in it, smoking blunts, rolling through Oklahoma like idiots. There's a lot of history to this stuff. And I'm very thankful for people like you and everyone else around us that, you know, I still feel like we're real, even with you, you know, I'm sure you feel the same way. We're still at the very beginning of our story. And what we're trying to actually accomplish out here. So I've really learned how to slow down and appreciate.
I think so. So after that, you had me on the remaining dates of the Mayflower tour. We did Lincoln, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, and I think the Omaha date was my cousin got married that day, so I had to put family first that day. But we did that. What was you brought Mac Lethal here at Blackbird on Pearl. That was a fun show. Yep.
And that's kind of how me and your relationship kind of, hold on one second, I need a vibe switch. Okay, this is better. The way we kind of, after that, it's like you also were setting your tone and like growing, and that's when you started building even more tours yourself. And but Tulsa became just like kind of a sister city, you know,
Mhm.
and our relationship allowed us to really go down there and try a lot of things. We've done Mac Lethal, King ISO, we do Doobie
Mhm.
down there together.
Yeah.
And Tulsa's a challenge for me. So if you're from Tulsa, I hope you come to the next Nice Enough Entertainment show.
Yeah.
But I love Tulsa. I think you guys have a beautiful city. It's
Yeah.
a lot of beautiful art, man. A lot of
Yeah.
friends down there. So
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I think Argentine's a little. It's definitely different from like Omaha and Des Moines and stuff like that. But like, I've been very proud of how we've grown and stuff like that.
right.
A lot of it is, and only my pet peeve is that the music scene, like hip hop, there is a lot going on.
Mhm.
And there is a lot of to me is just like there had been certain structures that I've had to put into place. But you know, I've been able to do it where it's not in the lame way. Like all the artists I work with, they trust kind of like my ideas, leadership. And I said, hey, here's what we're gonna do from now on for the shows, and everyone's like, let's go. You know what I mean? So it's a nice change of pace because nobody complains about their time slots. Everyone's like, all right, let's he goes, all right, I'm opening, I'm setting the tone for the show. All right, I'm ready to go. Like, all right, I'm headlining. Okay, man, we'll just end it with a bang. Like everyone's so positive now.
Yeah.
And I back then, probably when we first met, I dealt with people who would act like opening the show was like a kick to the nuts or something. I was like, no, man. I mean, someone's got to open the show, but you understand, it's like you set the tone,
Right.
like you know what I mean. Um, so it's just everyone. But I tell everybody like a lot of times when I pick who plays when, it has everything to do with like, I'm thinking, okay, who do I think is going to start the show off like a banger, like who I think would really get people's attention.
Yeah.
Who should be so like I tell everybody like it's like science, like you said earlier. Like I think how it's like a piece of the puzzle. So and yeah, everyone I work with is great. Like everyone helps me like push my open mic. They've made that successful. So shout out to a few people, man. Like shout out to King Castro. He's brought me some super duper talent. Shout out to JDB, 918 Zach, J Rob, Failer Foretold, man, he's grown really fast. You know what I mean? And DJ Corrosion. And then my girl Amy, man, she's done really well with the open mic and she helps a lot at shows.
Man,
So yeah.
having strong partners, whether it's business or relationship, man, it sure
Mhm.
does help, don't it?
It does.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So where do you want to jump in next? We talked about the shows and all the stuff kind of we did. Any other like advice? Let's talk about how you guys grow. Like what is the science behind that? What's the science between getting what it looks to me like a local lineup that looks like a concert with a famous headliner, like the energy and the crowd size, so it
Man,
definitely looks like you guys have some pretty heavy hitters, which you do. But for probably the outside who sees it just on social media, who's probably not familiar with a lot of these guys, they're thinking, man,
yeah,
like, how is this pulled off? Like, and not to
yeah.
mention, it seems very grassroots.
Mhm.
If I'm not mistaken, like it doesn't seem like you guys have like a big budget behind you. You have just enough, you know what I mean? Because you don't see well,
We're
and I,
broke as
and what I
fuck.
well, what I mean by that though, what I mean by that is that you don't see anything flashy. You know what I mean? It's
No, yeah.
it seems very standard. They look like very standard like hip hop shows. They look dope, but you can tell it's very like it's
Mhm.
the
People are there
teamwork.
for the artists. You can tell
Yeah.
it's you know what it is, and what's helped me my entire career is just fucking keeping it real and being genuine will get you so far.
Mhm.
And to where one of my least favorite things is seeing a promoter on stage talking a lot and bouncing around. Fuck it. That's kind of what I do. And I've embraced it. Someday I'll shut up a little bit more, but I'm connecting with that audience. I'm thanking them for being there. I'm encouraging them to follow the artist the whole time. It's all about that retention. It's all about getting people to come back. And when everybody gets on that vibe, like last night, man, it was so beautiful to see, man, I watched these kids grow up. That was C10 the rapper, the same one that was on the Mayflowers with us. That was Marquise is Dead, the same one. You know what I mean? No Name Sensei, who I just started working with at the beginning of when the pandemic started, dude. So these are, like you said, we don't have a whole lot of flash to get people through the door. We don't have big sponsors that are allowing us to do tickets for $5. People were paying $15 at the door to see these young men tear it up. And I wish I could, completely explain the science to that, but I think it's just one of those things. If you're consistent and if you consistently value people's entertainment dollar, I know it sounds really stupid to say, but if you value the money that they're spending to come through the door, they're just more likely to come back and they're going to tell their friends. And also, man, it's amazing what happens when you start fucking paying artists right. And it took me a while to figure out how to do things. And now I do and you know, and I know every budget's different, but I pretty much do 50% of all ticket sales across the board, unless it's like a big national headliner that I'm
that's what I'm doing too. Yeah. That's crazy.
It means so much to people to actually get that. We're in a world where people are literally being like, hey, you want to be on a show and be the 12th opener? Cool. Fucking give me $150. Hey, suck my dick. How about that? So like, last night I had artists that come up to me and they're like, yo, I literally made money being a rapper this week. And it was amazing. And we're hugging each other. And I'm like, and that's like, to me, that's beautiful because I know it's hard out here, man. We've all been to the grocery store. We've all filled up on gas right now. So the fact that people are still spending their entertainment dollar and the people that are entertaining are actually getting some benefit, because fucking opportunity. We got to eat too a little bit. So shout out to everyone involved in that. And if that's something that, you want to build towards, think about the things that you like about going to a hip hop show. Think about the things you don't like. Think about the things that let's say you sell a ticket to your cousin. What are they most likely to bitch about or make a little snarky joke about? And then find a way to fucking make that disappear and create a product that people aren't just supporting because they like you. Create a product that's better than fucking staying at home and watching Netflix. And you can't do that without amazing artists around you. And
that's been my mindset too. I was telling my DJ this once, and I said I make the shows that's vital for the artist. Like this is a show you as an artist would be crazy not to want to be a part of, or it's a good experience for you. But I'm also thinking about the fan. Like what's going to attract me, the average music fan. What's going to give them the good experience? Because let's be honest, they're the ones really spending money to attend it. So, like you said about respecting the entertainment dollar, but also just like you want them to come back. So, and I sometimes I feel like there might be way too many shows out there that's not appealing for the average person that probably wants to attend a good show. Right. So for me, Tulsa, the biggest issue with Tulsa, and this is a sign of a city that's doing a lot. So, but there is a lot to compete with, especially on the weekend. You know what I mean? Like BOK Center, there's always something there. Kane's Ballroom, which is a historic venue, that's where Tech Nine performs when he comes to Tulsa. Yep. So, but also like just the club scene, the bar scene, there's something DJs. There's always something happening. So like you kind of want someone thinking, you know what, I could probably go to the nightclub and hear music, or I could get the same vibe at a Mugen Had Enough show. Yeah. And you could get a dope ass DJ that plays some cool music, and then you get to see some live performances as well. So I obsessively think about that, and I always want to deliver like the best or the best in my ability anyway. So
yeah,
because every weekend there's probably at least 5-6 shows happening. So I kind of wish Tulsa didn't have it that bad, because now a lot of local musicians, rappers, metal rock musicians are supporting each other. That's happening more now. I'll do a show and then I'll see 5 or 6 musicians that I only see when I do a show with them. They're coming in, they bought a ticket or they paid at the door. So I'm seeing a lot of more local support now, but it's also kind of hard because a lot of guys are having a show the same night.
Right.
And so there's that oversaturation for them too. But of course, venues they've got to, every venue's got to have a show to stay open. But but yeah, that happens from time to time. So yeah, Tulsa can be kind of difficult, kind of city to kind of like, because you're always kind of competing with something,
Yeah.
and it sucks when it's like unintentionally it's your friends. Like you want to,
Right.
so so
Yeah,
it
dude,
is what it is,
totally get that, man.
Yeah, but
That being said, anybody watching from Omaha, there's a St. Patty's Day show at the Reverb. Mumbles is performing with Ready Red.
oh yeah, shout out to
Always gonna
Mumble.
forget someone, man, because I just want everybody to win so much, man. But I smoke a lot of weed to retain all this, so
Yeah,
we do our best out here.
no, but I want to give a shout out to Mumbles because he was our host on the Infamous Monsters tour in Sioux City, Iowa. And yeah, he did a bang up job just keeping the show like going, and then his performance, I never saw him perform before, but I was blown away. So
that's one of the,
yeah.
in my opinion, that's one of the most underrated rappers in my area for sure.
Oh yeah,
Mumbles is a monster. That's my guy, and he's an extremely good dude who doesn't get involved in nonsense. So he's got the balance to go a long ways.
yeah, for sure. All right, man. We can we got about 10 more minutes. So any other advice that you want to end us with? Anything that you think would probably help like new up and coming artists who just looking for some guidance?
You know, I've actually been thinking about like right. I know it's like everyone think that every like this is, I feel like an egomaniac even saying it, but I'm thinking about writing a book just for like beginning artists and artists that are trying to just figure out how to like establish brand, just kind of the things they should tell you that they don't. And one of the big things that I've noticed as I'm putting together all these lineups and shit, some of your artist pages are really hard to find. They're really hard to find, guys. And here's some just little quick advice. We'll do our own little special artist advice episode right here about social media pages and presence. So let's say your name is not 100% unique to where you're coming up. Maybe there's, let's say my name's Strawstone, right? But let's say there's another Strawstone in Arizona that makes folk music. I can't be Strawstone, so I'm like the real Strawstone, right? I had to do that to get my Facebook page. I'm the real Strawstone. I'm Strawstone 402 or whatever. That's fine. You're going to have to make those adjustments. You can't always have that. But if you have that, try to make sure it's that across all social media platforms. And then if it's not just as simple as Facebook /Strawstone, if it's the real Strawstone, you're out there typing all over the fucking internet anyways with all that promo material and stuff. Throw that into your branding once in a while. Just make it easy for people to find you, because there's a lot of options. Just like we say there's a lot of options with our entertainment dollars, there's a lot of fucking things to click on the internet. There's a lot of really good music all the time. There's new shows getting released on Netflix literally every week, guys. So like, just make yourself as easy to find and your music as easy to digest as possible. So
yeah. Also, try Linktree.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Also, you can do this if you have a song that's on digital platforms, and for some reason your distro, whether it's DistroKid or whatever, and they don't provide you like a song link. Look up Google. I tried this for my for Hall of Flames when I put that out. Because all DistroKid gave me was the one to Spotify. So go to Google Song Whip, and then type in the artist name and the song title, and it'll make you one. We'll say, Amazon, iTunes, that worked. Now I did one for another song I did, and one of the links was kind of incorrect, but it's like we're talking like one link. So it worked for like Spotify, and it worked for like iTunes and stuff like that. But yeah, you can make your own song link. Just Song Whip. That's all you got to do, and then it'll make you one, and then they'll give you the link.
Yeah, guys.
So there's all kinds of cool shit on the internet.
Out there, guys. Just take the time to utilize the tools that are out there. And I know at least half the artists fucking hate social media. They hate the politicking. They hate fucking dealing with it. So make it easy and make it count. You know what? If you don't want know what poster to pick or what song to post, get one of those fucking link trees or one of those toned in and put everything that's important. Like for that month, if you know what you're going to be pushing, what shows you have and what music is new that you want out there, put it on a fucking link tree. and put that every time you promote a show or you're on there talking music related things, throw it in the comments or throw it at the fucking end of the post and make it easy for your music to be found. Because like I said, there's a lot of options out there, but there's a lot of ways to make it easy.
Cool. Oh, I think this question is for you. Brandy said, what's that St. Patty's Day event you mentioned? I'm on vacation for my favorite holiday next week and need plans.
Is Brandy from Omaha? I think so. Brandy, if you're from Omaha, it's at the Reverb Lounge. It's the St. Patty's Day show with Ready Red and Mumbles. If you go to the Freedom Minds Facebook page, or if you go to the Nice Enough Facebook page, you can find information on it. Or just hit me up personally, and I'll link you to how to get a ticket.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Hey, man, since, like I mentioned earlier, and my apologies to everybody. I know I kind of hyped up getting to put the comments on the screen. I think what StreamYard does, because I stream live on both my personal and my artist page. Mm-hmm. So I think the comments that come from my artist page are the ones that pop up, and for some reason, all the ones coming on my personal one doesn't. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find I'm going to find comments that I can mention, just to kind of give you guys a shout out. So sure. Let's see. Corrosion did a couple comments I like. I think this one's for you, Justin. Corrosion said, I'm curious of his point of view on how he sees the Omaha scene compared to Oklahoma.
So different. Because what would be everybody's opinion in the world, I think, is that Tulsa has a way higher ceiling. You guys have a bigger population, you have more venues, and you have just like a city that truly embraces liberal arts. So in my opinion, Tulsa is like maybe some of the reason it's not growing and there's not like solidified upward trajectory sometimes is that there's just so much potential. So I think It's like two different monsters, to where Omaha was small and petty, and you kind of had to like work with people. People were stuck in the same old habits, and so we just had to yell and kick and scream until people like caught on. I think Tulsa's more just, if you guys lead by example and band together, but here's an important thing: band together, work together, but don't be fucking Captain Unity though. You know what I mean? Don't waste your breath talking about that whole everyone together shit. Just work with the people that do good business with you. Treat everybody decent. And Tulsa should be worlds above and past Omaha. And with people like Had Enough and some of the other beautiful people in Tulsa, man, like, I don't even want to make you guys mad, because I might need some big favors here like in a couple of years. So Tulsa's definitely on the come up, in my opinion.
All right, cool. Let's see who else. Corrosion had another comment. He goes, you guys come through Tulsa, get a hold of me or Brandon. I'll go back to back with your DJ and provide kick-ass production. I like where your heart is with putting on these shows. Straw. Oh yeah, I think you responded to him. Yeah. I just want to give some of these comments a highlight, because I saw some pretty cool stuff in here. Yeah. Clayton, glad to hear the scene is growing out there. Had enough. You should be in the woods with your grizzly bear head ass Straw, which is whenever I mention you, I always call you Straw, because Justin is a very common name, so that way people know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's what all my friends call me. It's Straw. So.
And also, it's funny because now every time that I've posted a show that I did with you, I have people ask me, is Nice Enough like a production company started? It's because the word enough is in it.
No, I just steal a little bit of everything from everyone, and then
yeah. I was always funny, so because I didn't think about that till someone mentioned it. I was like, oh yeah, it is kind of. I was like, no, that's not my thing, but those guys are cool, so you should support them.
Maybe you did inspire us, Had Enough.
Maybe.
Been around from the beginning, and if there's somebody that I would want my brand to get confused with, and vice versa, I feel like we both stand for a lot of the same things. So,
Oh, shout out to Jacob. When's the next podcast? Well, we're doing one right now. I do have
the next guy. Jesus Christ, Jacob! I just got here.
No, I do got a couple. There's a couple other indie artists from other states that are releasing a new record. So I do have a couple other interviews lined up. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't do this all the time weekly, but I like to do this consistently as possible, because I kind of like what this has kind of become. So But yeah, man.
You got a
Any
good look here, bro.
oh, we got another question. Corrosion heat. Of course, he's got all the questions. You guys, are you okay? Okay, I'm gonna read this so I don't sound like. Are you guys starting to plan anything for a summer tour?
Yes, there's some things that I'm. It's hard right now. So nice enough as kind of I've got a little more of an in-house position working with King ISO at Strange. So I'm kind of helping him organize things there, and just kind of being like, I don't want to call myself his manager, but I'm assisting in some tours and stuff, and that that's definitely going to be happening this summer. And there's also, when we get back from this tour with Tabo, I'm in talks with a lot of people about maybe doing a little June run and involving a lot of different artists. Just more of like a grassroots style, like nice enough themed run. Your mom, shout out to your mom, dude. She's a part of the beautiful things here in Omaha, man. So
right on.
But yeah, dude, it's we don't know the exact answer to that question, but yeah, you're gonna catch us on the road this summer a lot. The reason I brought up Straight, I almost said too much. I almost forgot what I was doing. I almost thought I was just talking to you for a second and said way too much. But with those new roles and whatnot, I can't be as like run and gun as I used to be, because I have to make sure some other things are solidified. But one way or another, yeah, there's gonna be some nice enough touring going on this summer. So
Yep. So let's talk. This is something I kind of wanted to mention, because this was something that I wasn't even really aware of until after the pandemic. But King ISO from Strange Music is from Omaha, so
yeah,
you guys all, and then Table the Truth as well.
yeah, man.
How do you? I mean, I know Omaha is small and all that. Did you guys grow up together? Did you guys go to high school? What's the background story?
I'll give you the quick background story of just like my relationship with Tabo and ISO.
Yeah.
So I've known ISO for many years. We actually used to be in the same battle rap league, the Central Battle Association, which is
wow,
like
okay,
kind of legendary around here.
yeah.
I'm not gonna fake the funk like we were best friends or anything. He was with a different group of friends, but anyways, he and I knew Tabo back then too. Because we sold drugs to each other. Let's just be honest here. And fucking, shout out to Tabo, my guy. I think we're past 7 years. We're fine, because we're definitely good kids now. But pretty much, I started nice enough back when me and you, we did those Oklahoma shows and whatnot. And that was also when ISO was out there killing it with Brain Sick. And we were seeing him do a bunch of West Coast dates. He was dropping a lot of great albums. The classics were coming out of that time. Autophobia and all that. So he ended up coming out to a show, and this was like when we had pretty good momentum, and it was when I was feeling pretty confident about what we were doing, both at Nice Enough and in Omaha. And I just asked him, I said, hey, I see you haven't done an Omaha show. I'm sure every promoter ever asks you this, I was like, but I would love to, we could start by just doing an Omaha show together. And he said, let's run it. And I was like, he's like, no, seriously, let's run it. I'm like, all right. And then, a couple days later, we solidified everything, and we started doing our Omaha shows together, and they went great, man. He does, the man stands for so much, and he does such good business that it's been such a blessing, man. And then Tabo all of a sudden just started putting out amazing content a couple years. He's always been dope. There's lots of great Tabo music out there.
Oh, yeah.
He teamed up with Scribbled-In, and he just started fucking putting out bangers, man, like on this comeback shit, totally on his own 2 feet too. And that's right around the same time when ISO was getting cozy with Strange, and he ended up on the Strange New World tour doing like fucking 75 dates all over the country. And yeah, man, and all of that happened, and the whole time, I pretty much everyone at Nice Enough, we're all big ISO fans,
Oh, yeah.
Whether he loves us or not, when he does. But I've always said, I was like, yo, if ISO ISO might like really blow up, I was like, we're just going to do everything we can to treat him decent and do our brand of hip hop. I was like, but if he don't like us tomorrow, or if ISO, if there's another promoter that comes along and snags him more like it or something, I was like, it's fine though. That's still our guy. And it never happened, because he's like the most genuine dude in the world. And
I noticed he comes out to local shows in Omaha. I saw a post last night. I thought that was kind of cool, man.
how cool. I don't even,
Yeah.
you know what? I didn't even invite him last night. I had him on the guest list, but I didn't even bug him about it because we have so much going on behind the scenes that we're working on. That's a little stressful. That he hit me up. He's like, he's like, what are you doing? Your show's still going on? I'm like, yeah, for another hour. He's like, I'm pulling up. I'm like, this fucking guy. Like, it just
Yeah.
it means so much to the artists in the building, and he takes time to talk to everybody. He snaps pictures with people, and man, it is just such a, I love the team that started with Aorta Hip Hop and what we stand for, and I think the addition of working for Tabo and ISO takes nothing away from our brand and what we're trying to build. It adds to it, and those are my guys, man. I'm so excited to go out on tour with Tabo. I love that I get to be a part of what ISO does because I mean, these artists are changing lives, man. So that's my little, that's who me and ISO are. I guess I'm his tour manager. I help him manage things here, but more than anything, that's my friend, and that's somebody I believe in, and somebody I got for life,
Yeah. Hell yeah,
So
man.
if you want to book Tabo or ISO in a city near you, fucking
Yeah.
Strawstone at niceenough.net. Or honestly, any of the artists you guys see around me, if you go to niceenough.net, you can kind of see who the artist ambassadors are. We need to get Had Enough on there because I feel like your family. But it's
definitely.
kind of it's that's just like pretty much a community, like just shows who's in our community. So Had Enough, I actually do want to put you on there. I need to get a picture from you and whatnot, and it's just something that
I am due for a photo shoot because like I don't have the long hair that I used to, and it's so funny when I send information to my graphic designers. I kind of just, they'll pick the picture that I have long hair. I'm like, well, I hate asking them to change it. It'll be fine. Like people still know it's me. I'm growing the hair back out. I don't know why I cut it. I'm having, like, I was watching the
is in here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was watching The Crow, and I'm like, bro, I was the rap version of The Crow. What the fuck was I thinking? But it's all good. My hair grows fast. Got a question.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I wanted to shout out Venom Stay Dripping. You guys have a show together coming up here soon. Anybody in the Tulsa area, Tabo the Truth is coming next Friday, right? No, 2 Fridays from now.
Yeah. No, it's a Saturday.
24th?
No, it's on Saturday. Well, the Tulsa date's on a Saturday.
Let me look so I get this.
Trust me, I obsess over all my dates. I know this.
the 26th of March, we're going to be at Foolish Things. Shout out to the beautiful people at Foolish Things. With Venom Stay Dripping, we got Had Enough, we got The Neighbors, we got Nick Gibbs. It's going to be beautiful. So if you're in the area, we'd love for you to come out. I will be there. Let's come. Let's network. All the artists that I haven't got a chance to work with, I would love to see you at that show when I'm in Tulsa, and we can talk about how maybe we can get involved in each other's art.
Yeah. Also, anyone who wants to go to the Table show, I do have tickets. So help me, look good to Straw. I'm like getting rid of these 20 tickets.
I see ATM is in the chat here as well. What up, dude? That's another show promoter that's out there trying to do a lot of cool shit, bringing a lot of people together. So shout out to him.
Also, Corrosion keeps coming with the questions. This is actually a good one. He wants to know, who are some people that you would like to tour with that you have not yet?
Palmer Squares. Announcement coming soon. Let me think. There's a lot of people I want to tour with that I haven't yet. I would love to do a C-Mob headlining tour. I think that would be really great. Venom, who's in the group chat, I would love to tour. I would love to hit a bunch of cities with Venom. That's something that, as we continue to build what we're doing, I just know is going to be a thing that happens.
Yeah, man, Venom was dope.
I love her
because I remember seeing like videos of her on Facebook, and then when we did the King ISO show, like she had a hell of a crowd for her, and she put on a amazing show. Like, so it was someone I knew about, but like never did a show with. But it's like, I don't know, it was awesome. I could definitely tell that she, how do I put this? It's kind of like an artist that that adds value to people's lives. So they get it. So there's this. She has something, and same thing with King ISO. Like, I think that's what's really.
You know what it is, Brandon? The way I describe it as artists that are truly taking a piece of themselves every time they make art, every time they make a song, and you could tell, you can almost feel that pain even in the the happier shit. You could tell when someone's really giving a glimpse into their soul.
Yeah, and that was what I like about King ISO, because I know,
I'm
you
high as
know, because I don't feel, because I had a friend, I was telling him about ISOs. I even checked him out. Like, he's probably like one of the most poppin' artists on Strange Music under Tech, because not everyone that's been on Strange Music has done well, and you know what I mean. And Tech is a pretty big shadow, and in a good way. But I said no, ISO's like he's really has his own thing going, and my friend was like, yeah, let me guess, he raps fast. I was like, no, but have you heard his music though? What he says? And then I said, check out Get Well Soon. Like, it's very like a mental health, message behind it, but it's really well. And so I said, no, listen to it. And then I sent him a couple YouTube links. He texted me, he's like, holy shit, bro. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I was like, no, man, he's got the steady, like, fast flow, but like, he's really talking about something. And he was like, dude, like, this is like very relatable. It's not like sipping juice and stuff like that. Like, this is like real life stuff, and that's my favorite kind of hip hop. Like I like the shit talk stuff from when I'm in the mood. Obviously, I do that a little bit, but I definitely like the relatable stuff. I feel like that's how you connect an audience. So
another one that makes really relatable and transparent music is Jay Influential. And,
absolutely, he kills it, man. Like, when he gets on stage, it's just like, you feel like he's never going to stop rapping, but you don't want him to stop rapping. It's kind of my opinion.
Yeah, dude,
no,
he's
great for like live performances and stuff like that. No, I like Jay a lot. Jacob wants to know what's your opinion on independent artists like Upchurch.
Upchurch is kind of out of my lane a little bit, but I do like anytime. So that's okay. These artists, they definitely find their lane and they fucking stick to it, don't they?
Yeah.
So there's part of me, even if like people annoy me or if it's not like my favorite thing, I can appreciate the marketing. Like, I don't even want to say the name because I'm scared he'll like appear. But like Tom McDonald, the fucking weirdo, like he has like, at least he kind of like fucking figured it out. He figured out what people want. So I really appreciate the branding. I appreciate the marketing on it.
He's actually like really does care about his fans. Like, I have with Tom McDonald, like, I have friends that are kind of split down the middle. I have friends that fucking love him, and I have friends like, yo, fuck that guy. You know what I mean? So, and it's just, it all comes down to like content, what their message is, if you agree with it or not. Right. But I would say I did a show with him when he came to Tulsa, and he does like do a free meet and greet after the show. Now I remember he came off stage, and I think the promoter was going to pay him, and he just said, hey guys, I'll be right back. Give me 5 minutes just so he could do his business. Came back 5 minutes later, and he did a free meet and greet for everybody and he didn't rush nobody out. If you want to sit and talk to him, like I talked to him, I asked him how he liked Des Moines. So, you know what I mean? So, and he talks like, he asked me, hey, he knew I was the opener. He said, how'd your set go? I will say, as a person, he's a very compassionate person when it comes to his fans. He does care about them. You can kind of get that vibe.
That goes back to like the question about, independent, and these guys, they have to. So as you're telling me this, I'm not being convinced that he's a good person or that his message is real or anything. And damn, he's really delivering for the people and he's following through on his brand. And that goes back to my original point of bringing him up. I respect that. I respect people that can track their lane and really go with it. And the fact that he actually wants to deliver for the people that are spending the money, whether they're misguided or not, whether it's stupid as fuck or not, at least they're getting something out of it and feeling like their support counts. So fuck with that.
Yeah, and Mercury's is the same way. Mercury's like, that's the same thing. He does a free meet and greet. He'll talk to everybody. He's very compassionate. He took a shot with me and Ryan when we did. He was like, let's go take a shot. I was one of the openers. So what I did is I don't go in line. I hang out till everyone's gone. You know what I mean? So I let all the fans kind of like get their meet and greet, because I'm just sitting here to shake his hand. Hey, it was an honor to open up for you. Nice to meet you. That kind of thing. And so, and the reason why reason why I can feel that genuine respect for the fans is because I've opened up for artists more famous than them who were shitty to their fans, didn't give a fuck, stormed out, had this fuck you attitude, and and those guys, those are artists. I hate to use that word, but those are the ones I feel don't deserve their platform. If you're going to shit on people that spent their money to support you, and there's artists I met who I really, really liked. Then I met them and their music didn't hit me the same. It was just like, man, the music felt fake because they had no respect for the fans that probably made them who they are or got them to where they're at. So, that's something else. Well, there's that quite. Oh, okay.
Talk about that.
Yeah, Clayton wants to know how long is Straw gonna be on the road with Tabo?
So we actually have 11 dates. 11 days, and
Cool.
it's a little spread out there towards the end.
Yeah,
we put this together little bit last minute as a way to go promote his album. So we're excited.
yeah.
11 day tours. That's enough for me
Yeah.
for now.
So, one thing I kind of want to mention about Upchurch, this might be some cool like just earpiece for the artists. Oh, like I don't necessarily like rock with Upchurch music. It's another. I think he's good. It's just taste. You know what I mean? So, but one thing I notice he does is he does a lot of comedy sketches. It's a little over the top, but it's something his ideal audience likes. And then he has his music. So he's kind of like an entertainer, but I feel like he kind of like really got the algorithms on social media to work for him because he was given like funny content.
Right.
And so that's something I kind of do like about his marketing is that it's diverse. It's like he's got his music, but he's also got other things. And I've heard he's got a pretty devoted fan base to a point where they actually will hate any opener. So I've heard you got to have a backbone to open up for Upchurch because I heard his fans are pretty ruthless. So that's a little something I've heard. But I do like the diverse content.
Yeah.
Kind of like what I'm doing with the podcast, and I try to do some funny stuff on TikTok and what have you, so that way it's like I don't want to feel like people feel like I have to be serious all the time.
Yeah,
because I can be kind of a goofy person, so I think that's okay. So
absolutely, man.
Yeah. Laughter is a very good. They say this in the comedy scene that said laughter is the best medicine. I say. Now I feel like music's the best medicine, and I think laughter falls in that category as well.
Right.
So yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, man. Anything you want to end us on?
If you're in the area, 420 is at the Waiting Room this year with Nice Enough Entertainment. We got Jay Influential, Saint Mike, Thuggy Yuck, Neves, Forget Finch, Modest K, Don Juan. Really stacked lineup. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's hosted by Tabo the Truth. But most importantly, if you're an artist out there, because I assume that's like, a lot of what your target audience is. If you're an artist out there, just don't give up, man. Keep going and apply the science. Pay attention. Take your notes. And at the end of the day, what makes you happy is, what's going to make you happy. And you decide at what level you want to move at. And we all have our own things and our own ways to adapt our music. So yeah, whether you're an open micer or you're trying to tour the country, I'm happy that you exist.
Right on, man. Well, I want to thank you for your time, man. I know you're super busy with everything going on, so yeah, man, this has been, I will say, man, I want to say this because I've been feeling this through the entire podcast. And I know you respect transparency, so I'd like to be transparent here if you don't mind.
Yeah.
This and for everyone listening, all of us are going through like some really hardships, like just with like all the gas prices. Just living is kind of fucked right now. So a lot of us are I think that's why we enjoy shows and music so much, because it gets us to forget about all that stuff. But I will say this is with all the kind of like stress and frustration I'm dealing with in my own life, this talking to you and talking about everything filled me with a lot of confidence and positivity for tomorrow.
Hell yeah, same.
That's
here.
been just from like from head to toe, my entire like just like body, like in my mind, like it just feels really good. Like just this conversation was very genuine, and I don't know, just kind of give you that, hey, is actually gonna be better than you thought. So that kind of
absolutely, man. I want you to know, Brandon,
Yeah.
you matter, dude, and your efforts and your what you've done out there and the miles that you put on your vehicles and the chances and the risks that you have taken, the door deals you've taken to go live this dream, hoping you'll sell enough merch to be able to get a hotel that night. It matters and it counts.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people out here that count on you. Don't let that hold you down, though. Okay, man. There's a lot of people that believe in you, brother. So we got a big network here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No doubt.
All right,
brother.
man. Oh, go ahead, man.
I was going to say thanks for having me. It means a lot.
Absolutely, thank you. Is there for anyone who wants to follow Nice Enough Entertainment? Obviously, you're in the comments, so people should totally send you a friend request so they can follow you.
Yes, absolutely.
Any web? Sorry, just trying not to burp in the mic. Any websites?
Niceenough.net. So if you take Nice Enough ENT and you switch that ENT to .net, that's our website. Is that good marketing? I need your guys' opinion on that. But anyways, niceenough.net. You can find everything that we have going on. Also, facebook.com/niceenough.ent. We do a lot of engaging posts. We would love for you to interact with us and help us build our network. Because as I tell people, whenever we go live or whenever we're posting a post where we want your opinion on things, we're trying to beat the algorithm, and we don't have a big budget, so help us trick the algorithm and just tune in and tap in, and we will do everything we can to help you grow as well.
Hell yeah, man! All right, man. It's so hard to end these things, so it's like I try not to go past an hour, and or it's just like when I had Johnny Bliss on, he was like, "Fuck it, we'll go for 2.5 hours."
Right. Yeah.
So
Let Johnny keep talking. He will keep talking. But yeah, I gotta go back in the kitchen here and
a nice kitchen.
Thanks. I had 5 different backgrounds this whole time. So
right on.
Thanks for letting me be a little bit of a fuckhead, and I love you, dude. And
love you too, man.
I will see you. Hold on, we're gonna end it with this. If you're in Tulsa and you're an artist, and if you have any interest at all in like building your brand, well, I'm coming to town. I'm giving free consultations at Foolish Things in the back of the venue before the show starts. So come talk with me. Let's do cool shit. You have no excuse not to show up. Brandon has tickets. So I'm kind of kidding, but also show up. Come meet Tabo the Truth, man. He's an amazing talent. It's going to be a great show, guys.
Oh yeah, man. All righty. All right, man. I'll finally let you go. All right, guys. We'll end this. Thank you guys for all the comments. My apologies that StreamYard is kind of whack and not let me like showcase all the comments because I want to put, but I definitely made sure I tell you what. Before I leave, let me get a few comments because I want to give you guys as much as I can. I feel like I read most of them. Okay, I think that's most of them. Anyway, shout out to Johnny Bliss and DJ Corrosion. So trying to give everybody all their shout outs. So, but anyway, thank you guys, man. I will announce when the next podcast episode is done. Make sure to follow Justin Strawstone and Nice Enough Entertainment. And if you're in the Tulsa area and want tickets to Tabo the Truth on March 26th, shoot me a DM. No dicks, please.